As I mentioned, we are partners with the State Board of Education, so they also help to develop content for us, as well as provide that public access to our educators. We work closely with the regional offices of education. We've partnered with the Illinois Education Association, IEA. Diana Zaleski has produced several courses for us, SB 100 material, ACES score material, and she's doing new courses for us all the time. Chronic absenteeism is a new course that's coming out. We're working with Illinois Empower. We've produced paraprofessional training, and we're working on parent mentor training with them as well. Standard for Success is a really unique partnership. They're out of Indiana. They are an evaluation solution. And you can go directly from evaluating a teacher to assigning them content on Ed Leaders Network with their tool. And then we've partnered with Discovery Education on some opioid resources that are going to be forthcoming. We're doing elementary, middle school, and secondary resources for opioid education. So those are some of our partners, and those are our state affiliates. All that, again, is under the About tab. Let's look at the courses. This is a list of everything that we have available on Ed Leaders Network. It's searchable. You can sort it by tag. So if I'm looking for state mandated training, which we do have in the system, you can click go and it'll pull up all the mandated training that we've got. You can click and enroll now, and that'll take you into the learning management system if you're signed in, and begin that training. It'll ask you to sign in first, of course. So those are the courses. If you hover over the courses tab and click on live recordings, you'll be able to see everything we've got here. We just did a really great presentation yesterday with Dr. Bill Ziegler on strategies for leading during the COVID-19 crisis. We had over 300 attendees for that yesterday afternoon. Maybe you were one of them. If you didn't make it, you can always watch the recording from the live recordings tab on our website. Also, let's look at the presenters. This is a nice display of all the people who have created course content for Ed Leaders Network. We'll look at Brian Schwartz, our legal counsel. You've got his contact information, his email address, a couple sentences about who he is. All of his Ed Leaders Network courses are listed here, his educational expertise, publication, workshops, keynotes, and any testimonials that have come in from people who have gone through some of Brian's trainings. And in the final tab, we've got micro-credentials. So this is a micro-credential overview. There's a short video, again, that we created to explain them. They are not courses. They are to be artifacts to be created and then evaluated in assessment. So it's an assessment of competency more than it is a learning course. If you hover over micro-credentials again and go to our micro-credential library, we've got them divided up into these main topics: culture, systems, learning, and business operations. We partnered with IASBO to do a tax levy micro-credential. And you can see a lot of these are coming soon. If you click on communications, which is available, you can see the stack here. We've got personal communication skills badge, communication structures badge, communication advocacy, and communication standards. So if you want to learn more about any of these, and as I said, they are not a course, they're an assessment of your competency. You can read about the professional development credit. In Illinois, these have been approved for Administrator Academy credit, or you can take the 9 hours of PD credit as well. So it gives you an overview, talks about the essential outcomes that you'll be displaying. Then the requirements. So it's a 4-part process. You create a narrative that's 1,000-word long, answering these overview questions. You create skill demonstration products that will be turned in and assessed. You self-analyze those skill demonstration products with a worksheet that we've already put together as a template for your use. And then reflection and application, 500-word essay on what you learned and how you're going to implement it in your school site. So like I said, we've only got a few of these available at the moment. This follows closely our school leader paradigm, which is all about growth as yourself as a leader and growing in your organization, developed by IPA and several other principals associations across the country, known as the School Leader Collaborative. And that's where we get the culture, systems, and learning sides of these micro-credentials. Okay, so that's the public-facing side. That's everything you can see and do without logging in. Let's click the login button. Oh no, I should mention this too. On the support page, we've got several video tutorials, a welcome, a learner role tutorial, manager role. I'm going to go over all these things this morning, but if you ever need to reference back to them, go to the support page and all of the tutorials will be listed for you there. All right, let's get logged in. If you're new to the site, the username will be your work email address, and the default password for you is going to be password1 with a capital P. If you've already signed in the past, it probably asked you to update your password, so it'll be whatever you've changed it to. All right, so let's go look at what happens when we log in. Where you're going to land as a learner is the My Learning page. And you're going to see all the courses that have been assigned to you by your administrator under the Required tab. And if you've got more than 5 or 6 assigned to you, it's going to give you this See All button. It'll kind of collapse the view. It'll show the ones that are due the soonest first, and then those could See All button can be clicked to see more. Next are going to be courses that have been added by you. These are courses where you've searched the learning library, you found something you're interested in, and you have assigned it, enrolled in it by yourself. And the difference is, for the required courses, I cannot remove these from my learning. I have to take them. For the courses added by you, there's a little X over here on the right-hand side where you can remove a course from your My Learning page. So those are the courses that you've added. Then at the very bottom, it's important to keep track of these. These are your completed courses. And you can come here at any time and click View Certificate and get a certificate of achievement for any course that you've completed. You can print this or save it as a PDF. So I got a question. Yes, I can share the password again. It's password1 with a capital P if this is your first time logging in. And then if you get an error and it's not letting you in with that password, you can click Forgot Password from the login page and get your password. Okay, to get out of the certificate view, you click on the top left, you go back to My Learning, and that's going to bring you back to the main page. So from this My Learning page, there's a few places you can go. The place I want to explore with you first is the Learning Library. This is where all 113 of the ELN courses live. You can search. So if I'm looking for something on restorative practices, I can search by keyword, and it's going to search the title and description of the course as well as any tags. You can sort. By default, it's going to be by date added. The newest is going to be first, but you can put it in alphabetical order, reverse alphabetical, and even by duration, seeing what the shortest to the longest. I like the date added feature. That way I can see what the newest course is first. You can also filter these by the content type. Or is it just a course? Is it a program, which is a bundling of courses, or is it a live training? And then your status, not yet started, in progress, or completed. And then you can even filter by duration if you're looking for something at a specific time component. And then over here on the far right, you're going to see this tags button. If you open this up, you'll be able to see everything we've used as a tag for this course. So if I want to search anti-bias education, first I have to clear my keyword search, and then it's going to bring up our course, our mandated training on anti-bias education. If you want to get rid of that tag, you click the big X, and that takes you back to the full list of courses. So that's how you can use the tag library. All right, let's pull up those restorative practices courses again. We're going to look at academic circles. You notice the button, some of them says resume. This one says enroll. That means I haven't ever started this one. But the nice thing about this learning management system is it keeps track of where you are in the course so that you can jump right back into it without missing a beat. Because some of these, as you can see, are a bit long. This is 4 hours worth of credit for the counseling circle. So you may not have 4 hours to sit there and dedicate to a particular course. So it's going to keep track of where you're at. But I'm going to jump into academic circles, and we'll take you back to the beginning here so you can see the full process. This is the title page. I see the title of the course, the name of the presenter, their credentials, and also a brief description of the course. If I'm ready to begin, I simply click Begin Course, and that takes me to the first page, the course materials page. This is an important step. I don't want you to miss this. There is a course guide for each one of these courses. You click on the link, and it's going to open up in a new tab. It is a Google Doc. So for all of you Google users out there, very simple for you to go to File. It's not going to be editable at first, so you'll go to File, and you'll choose Make a Copy to create one of these in your local drive, in your Google Drive. If you're a Microsoft shop and you guys use Microsoft Word, go to Download, and you can download it as a Microsoft Word document. That way you can edit it. You don't need to request permission. You just need to make a copy of this or download it as a Word document. And so this course guide will follow along exactly with the course. So we'll continue to the next page, which this talks about our course credit. This is worth 4 professional development clock hours. You do have to do some things to earn these hours. You've got to view all the videos. You've got to complete the quizzes with 80% accuracy and complete and save that course guide with your reflective activities, your learning activities, and your implementation plan. Okay, Terry's got a question. How did we get to the list of classes? So once you sign in, Terry, you're going to come to a place called My Learning, and there's going to be some tabs at the top, and I want you to click on Learning Library. Let me know if you found that, Terry. Okay, great. So again, this will just show you the power of this ability to resume. It's going to take me right back to where we left off at the course credit and outcomes. We list the learning outcomes right up front. We want you to know what to expect, what you're going to learn within this course. Usually they have 3 to 5 different learning outcomes. Those will be sections of the course. This shows all the standards we align to, the PSAL standards, our own leadership paradigm, and then Danielson domains. When you're ready to move forward, at the bottom is the Continue button. Click there, and that's going to take you into the pre-activity and implementation plan. Pre-activity is going to have you download and review this document. You're going to watch these videos that are embedded here. And then you're going to go to the course guide and find the implementation plan activity, which is at the very end. So if I scroll to the bottom, there it is, implementation plan. So throughout this course, you're going to be developing strategies. You're going to develop timelines for implementation, the resources you might need, indicators of the impact you intend to have, and then the date or status when these get completed. So the implementation plan gets filled out at the very end, but you are creating it as you go. So you'll be able to refer back to reflective questions and bring those in at the end of each section. All right, so continues always at the bottom. There is a back button, so if you need to go back and get the course guide again, you can click that back arrow. We'll click continue. And this is a brief introduction to academic circles that the presenter gives. This is where you actually start watching video of Judy Bruner, who developed this course with us. And underneath each video is going to be the learning outcome that this is tied to, so you always know what to expect with the instruction. Okay, we're gonna bypass that one and move into section 1A. This is called check in, check out. And then it gives you a brief description of what this video is going to be about. Here's your reflective activities. We put those above the video so you can read them and be thinking about them while you're watching the video. When you complete the video, you will return to your course guide, find section 1, reflective activity, and type into this text box that we've provided you. So the things we'll be thinking about while we watch this video: what ways did the teacher's demeanor and clarifying questions influence the outcome of the session? And what are the benefits in providing students the opportunity to engage in academic circles? All right, we'll play a little bit of this video. The video will not play back smoothly for you just because of this screen sharing application, but you should be able to hear it and see a little bit of what it looks like. These are pretty unique sessions that we created here with Judy. There's interview footage of the teacher, there's classroom footage, and then there's direct address footage from the presenter. So I'll play a little bit of this for you, and I'll stop it after a couple minutes.
In this section of the course, you're going to watch a teacher do what's commonly called a check-in, check-out. Now, this is an elementary setting, but what I would want everyone in the audience to know is that check-in, check-out has real merit, whether it's at the elementary level, the middle school, or the high school. Sometimes there's resistance from teachers about doing this routinely because they're afraid it will cut into too much of their instructional time. And I think that's a real concern that needs to be given some thought. So watch how the teacher facilitates this check-in and check-out in a way that gets to the heart of what she's trying to accomplish, make people feel comfortable in a school setting, start off on the right foot, but then also get it down to a manageable period of time. In a school that embraces the restorative philosophy, it's not unusual to begin the day with a class meeting. Sometimes people call that check-in, check-out. But in your experience, is this something that the kids really look forward to doing?
I think so. It gives them a time where they can share something, and it's not just 4 people get to share. They all have the power to decide if they want to share something or not. And so I think it makes them feel very equal. Okay, let me repeat that, and I'm going to give you some think time. What is something you are looking forward to in school this week? And we're thinking about, things in the classroom, not necessarily what's for lunch or taco day, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to give you some think time.
Okay, so that's just a little example of what the video looks like. Like I said, this is a kind of a special case in where we had teachers' classroom footage that we were able to record of restorative practices happening. And then Judy was able to interview the teacher before and after to kind of discuss that. So lots of information here that'll be good for anybody looking to implement restorative practices. When you're done watching the video, you complete the reflective activities in your course guide. And then at the bottom, you click continue to move forward. This is section 1B about resolving an issue. I'm going to skip this one since you've got an idea of what the video is like. And here we go. This is our first quiz. We usually have 5 to 10 quizzes put into each course just to make sure you are watching the videos. We don't want you just flying through, getting to the end and getting that certificate. So you've got to get 80% or better on these quizzes. So this question is, the talking piece supports civility, respect, and impulse control. I would say that's true. So you'll click the radio button next to your choice, and then you click submit at the bottom. And then down in the lower left, it lets you know whether you got it right or wrong. And then if you get it right or wrong, you still can continue. You just can't dip below that 80% on the quizzes. Otherwise, you'll have to retake the course. So you click continue in the lower right now. Here's another quiz. Let's see if I can get this one wrong. Yeah, I'm just going to select one of these. Oh, snap. Better luck next time. So this is what it looks like if you get it wrong. There's a red band at the bottom. Lets you know that it's incorrect. And like I said, you'll still be able to continue. You just can't dip below that 80% without having to retake the course to get the certificate. Okay, so that is what it's like to navigate through an ELN course. The other thing I wanted to show you before getting into some of the management tools is the community. If you go up to the top of your screen when you're in the My Learning page and you click on ELN Community, this is going to bring you here, and we open it up in a new tab. It is a different software. It's Higher Logic's community software, so it looks a little bit different than the learning management system, but this is the third side of EdLeaders Network, where you can engage with your peers and colleagues in discussions. You can blog here. You can upload and share resources. Here's kind of the 3 main buckets. If you want to post a discussion, you click the button next to the title there, and then you get to select a discussion. This will bring up all the communities you're a member of. We're going to choose the all member community. And here's my subject line at the top. So it's just kind of like composing an email. And then you type into the body there. Lots of things you can edit, you can change, you can create the text into larger headings. You can bold text, italicize, anything you could basically do in a word processing tool, you can do here in these discussions. You can also attach files. If you come down to the bottom, there's an attach button. And this is the way I would say, if you're wanting to share something, a resource with the community, rather than just uploading it to the library, share it as a discussion post. That way everybody gets an email letting them know that there's a new file added. And the nice thing is it's not a listserv. You're not going to get bombarded with emails. At most, you'll get one a day from the ELN community, and it'll have all the posts from that day listed there. And then you've got some buttons at the bottom. You can send it right away. You can schedule it for later, save it as a draft, or delete the draft or cancel. So I'm just going to delete this draft. And that should return me back to the community homepage. Blogs are fun things to create as well. We've got, on a not so fun topic, the coronavirus, but we've got a blog here created by IPA's own Drew Thomason, letting people know that ELN has been hit pretty hard during the COVID crisis. We've got lots of people wanting to get access to the PD, which is great, but it's been a lot of lists all at once for us to upload users. So just be patient with us if you have submitted your spreadsheet but not yet received access. So we'll go back to the homepage. If you want to create a blog, you can click on the create button. Title of your blog goes at the top. If you want a vanity URL, you can type that here. And that way you can kind of edit the link. And it works a lot like the discussion post as well. It's pretty much like a word processing editor with a few more features. You can switch over to the HTML. If you wanted to paste in a video and embed a video, you can do that into the blog as well. We also have a directory where you can find everybody who is a member. I'll search for myself, and it should pull up my profile. Now, to complete your profile, you'll go to the top right-hand corner, click the drop-down arrow, and go to Profile. This is where you can upload a picture, add your bio. If you have a LinkedIn account, it's really fast to import your information from LinkedIn. A couple clicks, you sign into LinkedIn, and it brings over all your information. That way you don't have to refill it out, but it's got your bio, your education, your job history, your professional associations, any honors and awards, and your ed leadership areas of expertise. And you can edit all these things real time so that people can reach out to you and find out your expertise within education. I do want to show you the My Account tab. We're going to go to Community Notifications. In here are the settings for all of your communities. You want to be set to a daily digest. That way you get just one email a day, and it's got everything in it. If you want to switch over to no email, you can do that. Plain text, real time means you're going to get every message that posts. That turns it into a listserv for you. Every time someone posts a message, you're going to get an email. So we suggest you switch over to daily digest. So those are the things you can do within the community. Any questions so far? And this is the learner role, basically the general access that everyone receives. These are the types of things you can do. I'll pause for any questions and move back over to the learning management system. Okay. Okay, now we're going to get into some deeper water with the learning management system. This is the manager role that gets assigned at the school level for the principals and the district level for the superintendents. And the way you access the manager tools is in the top right-hand corner by your picture or initials, whatever it may be if you haven't uploaded a picture, will be the application switcher. And if you click on the application switcher, you're going to get these 4 drop-downs. My Learning is everything we've already explored. Author is where you create and assign courses and programs. Insights is your data dashboard where you look at completions, incompletions, all the data that you might need from the learning management system is here. Admin is where you manage your account, you manage look at your users, and you create groups. So let's start with Author. First place you're going to go once you click on Author is the courses page. This is going to have all the courses that are in this system. One important thing to note is if you see draft on a course, do not assign that to your learners. That means we are still in the process of finishing it. So it would appear to be unfinished. It might be missing videos. It might be missing the course guide. So if you see the word draft next to a course, do not assign it. I mentioned we've got the state mandated trainings in EdLeaders Network. So let's pull up bloodborne pathogens for this school year. Once you're ready to assign this course, you click on the title, and that's going to take you into this course editing page. And then from here, you're going to click on Learners in the top navigation. And you're going to click Plus Learner. And let me search for a Jason. Let's see if my boss is Jason Leahy. Might already be in this course. Let's find out. No, doesn't want to find him. There he is. So if I clicked on his name, it would assign him, it would send him an email notification that he's been assigned in the course, and you could even set a due date for when you would like this course completed. And all that information will be sent over to Jason. Now, if you want to assign this to everybody, since it is bloodborne pathogens and everybody needs to complete it once a year, you'll go to Groups. Might take a little while to load. It's pulling up all the different groups that are in the system. Very slow. I promise it'll show up. There it is. And your default group name is called My Learners. That's for the principals at the school and the superintendents at the district level. It's a group. It's automatically created for you called My Learners. I'm going to search for my test group. And then what I do is I set the relevance for them. Is this going to be a required course? Since it's bloodborne pathogens, probably. Am I just going to make it a recommended course that they complete it if they choose? Or do I just want it available in the library for them? And that one is kind of a moot point. It's already available in the library, so for everybody. So that one you really have two choices: required and recommended. And let's set it to required. Now, if I click save, it's going to send an email out to everybody within this group. The only downside to assigning it to a group is you can't set a due date, unfortunately. We've talked with the LMS software company about that possibility. It's on the roadmap, but it's not here yet. So once you've got your group set up with the required relevance, you'll click save, and away will all the emails go to them to let them know they've been assigned a new course. Okay, so that's the assignment feature. Like I said, you just go up to courses, you search for the course you'd like to assign, and then you decide whether you want to assign it to an individual or your whole group. Okay, let's explore one really cool feature that I am always impressed with, and I love to see what schools and districts do with it. It's called the New Course button. And this gives you access to the authoring tool that we use to create this course content. Sandra has a question. Do teachers have to account? Can you type that in again, Sandra? I'm not sure. Teachers will not see these tools. These are management tools for administrators. Is that what you're asking? Yes, you as a teacher, you don't have to have an ELN account, but you would need to have one created for you if you wanted to access the learning here. But an ELN account is not required by state law or anything like that, but you do have to have an account to access the courses. Okay, let's click on New Course and jump into the authoring tool. This is where all the fun happens. This is what me and my team of content specialists get to play in all the time. All right, so this is going to be called my test course. I'll title it in the top left-hand corner. And this will be section 1. We'll do teacher evaluation. This is where you start editing. You can add any content here. You can paste things in, add in text. Anything that's publicly visible on the internet can be a hyperlink. I'm just going to link this back to our home page just to show you. You click the little link icon to hyperlink. You can use these H1 and H2 tags to change the size of the font. You can create lists, numbered lists. And then what I like is the embed media feature. So let's move down here. And if you click on this little play button with the music notes, you can paste in links to videos you found on YouTube or Vimeo. And you can actually search YouTube and Vimeo right from here without having to leave the authoring tool. So let's search for teacher evaluation. And it looks like it's not working right now. Of course, during my demo. All right. Well, there's two ways to skin a cat. So let's go to YouTube. And I'll search for teacher evaluation here. So here's a Charlotte Danielson video. Let's say I want to watch this. I want to add this to my course. I go up to the top URL bar. I copy that URL, return to the authoring tool, and paste it in. And voila, the video from YouTube is now a part of my course. So it's that easy. All right, Sandra has another question. So if only the principal has an ELN account, can you still share by email for teachers to complete a video or a course? No, the teacher would need their own individual account to be able to share the courses with you. So I hope that answers that question. You would need an account to access the courses. And what we have is a spreadsheet that we use to upload. It's got your first name, your last name, your email address, all your pertinent information, your IEIN number if you're an Illinois educator. And we upload that into the system. Usually takes 5 to 10 business days. We email you out the information to log in, and then you have your own account where the principal can then assign courses to you. So you do have to have an account for that to work. Good question. Thanks for clarifying, Sandra. All right, if I want to add content to my online course, it's up here in the top left. And this just adds a new page. And this would be section 2 on my Danielson course. And let's say I wanted to add a quiz to this. You click the drop-down arrow next to add content, and you add a quiz question. I recommend staying away from the smart quizzes. You have to be a near genius to figure this out and make it work. We use the traditional ones. We either use multiple choice, multiple answer, sorting, or short answer. Let's set up a multiple choice question here. So you type your question text there, answer 1, answer 2, and then you use this blue check mark to determine which is the correct answer. And if you wanted to add an answer 3, you could do that there. And let's say 2 is the correct answer. You can also, a little checkbox at the top, preserve the answer order. That way this doesn't get mixed up. If you leave this unchecked, it'll scramble the answers every time somebody takes the quiz. So we'll leave it unchecked. You can also customize the learner feedback. As you saw when I took the restorative practices quiz, it either says, way to go, you got it right, or oh snap, better luck next time. So you can change that to be just correct or incorrect, if you don't like the system's sense of humor. Okay, so now I've got a course created here. I've got a couple pages of content, and I have got my quiz question. So now what I want to do is come up to the 3 little dots, the more actions in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and preview the course. Oh, let me go back. I'm going to start at the beginning, click preview, and it's going to show you what the course looks like on a laptop or desktop computer, on a tablet, and even on a mobile device. It is mobile friendly. So that shows you the different views you can have of the course. Okay, Amber's got a question. As a principal, I do not have access to these features. Was there something specific I should do to set this up at the district level? Yes, we would create for you an account called the LMS Manager account, and we will send you that. Amber, I'm going to put an email address into the chat here. Send your query that you need the LMS Manager account to support at edleadersnetwork.org. And that way you can get your LMS Manager account. It's going to be separate from your learner account. That way you can share it with all the administrators in the building or district. So if you're not seeing that application switcher, that means you don't have the LMS Manager account. We need to create one for you. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the device. We're going to continue to page 2. I didn't put anything in. And then here are the quiz questions. I think number 2 is right. Scroll down, submit. There we go. And then you complete this course. So that's just a way to preview what it's going to look like on different devices. If you want to assign this course, you're going to have to publish. So in the top right, publish course, it'll let you know that all your changes have been accepted and published. When you close out of the authoring tool, it's going to take you to this editing page. Now, you're not going to be able to put your courses for your school or district into the main learning library. So the way that you're going to get these in front of your people is to go to learners, assign it to individuals, or go to groups and assign it to the whole group. So a couple of different ways to get it in front of your staff, but you will not be, as a manager, able to publish to the main library of content. So don't worry about that. Get in here, have fun, test it out, and create courses for your staff. Okay, any questions about the authoring tool? See anything new coming in? All right, let's look at programs briefly. This is really straightforward. A program is just a grouping of courses that you've created. I've already gone in and grouped the state mandated training. So if you look for those, you can find the Illinois annual mandated training, the recommended training, and then the biannual mandated training is listed here as well. And if you look inside of a program, all you will see is the grouping of courses that make up the program. So this kind of makes things easier. If you want to create your own mandated training program and assign that to your staff, you can do that. And this just shows you all the courses that are a part of this program. So that's pretty straightforward. If you want to create a new program, you just go to Programs, Add New Program. And this will be my test program. And then you've got 3 things you can add. You can add a course, you can add a live training, and you can add a checkpoint. Most of the time, you're just going to be adding a course. You'll search. So I'm going to make a state mandated training program here. So we'll put bloodborne pathogens, diabetes training, and one more, chronic health conditions. Okay, so now I've added all these 3 things together. You can give it a description here. You can set the color of the background. That's kind of fun. And then once you've done it, you can publish this program and assign it to your people. Now, by default, I said you've got one group of people called the My Learners. You can create more groups. If you wanted to create a certified versus non-certified staffing groups, you can do that. If you go to the application switcher, go to Admin, Users and Permission, Manage Groups. Add a new group. You've got 2 options. We recommend using the manual group. The smart group is not going to be consistent for you. It pulls from the database and not everything's always there. So you just do a manual group. And this will be my test certified staff group. And then you just start adding users. So I'll put myself in here, start typing names. The persons will appear there at the bottom. I'll put our video producer, Scott Wilkinson, in. And then I'll add our executive director, Jason Leahy. And that's how you create your groups. And if you would decide you want to remove somebody from the group, you can just click the X next to their name and remove them from the group. All right, so let's go back to manage groups. And if I want to delete a group, I'll look for that test certified staff group. And I can come over here to disband, and that'll remove the group. All right, let's look at, before we get too deep in the admin portion, let's look at our insights page. This is our data dashboard. By default, it's going to show you data for the last 90 days. So we're seeing data from January 17th to April 16th. It shows you how many overdue learners you've got in the system. It shows you how many completed learners you've got in the system for this time range. So if we were to set it back further, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the school year, July 1, or this fiscal school year. And you can see we've had over 16,000 completions on the platform. So that's just some quick at a glance data. If I want to see who these people are, I click the little snorkel man. It's called Deep Dive, and this takes me into the data. It shows me the name of the person, the course they completed, the completion date, their score, their status, and how much time they actually spent in the course. If I wanted to export this as a CSV, I can do that here at the top right with the click of this button. This takes a little while to download, so we'll continue talking here, but this usually takes 4 to 5 minutes to come up with the information. So there's 4 different reports you can run in this system. There's the completed learners report that we just looked at. This is a good report if you've made some assignments, who's overdue. Again, you can export that as a CSV, get the email addresses and blast them out and let them know they've got overdue courses. Then there's the incomplete learners report. This means you've assigned it to them. You didn't give them a due date, but it's not finished. And you can see the status here goes from unfinished to not started. And you can kind of see how much time they spent in the course. Again, always able to export the data as a CSV file on the top right. And then something that I look at might not be as important to you as a manager, but I like to look at the sign-in report. This looks at last week. I can see how many people signed in on the different days last week. It looks like we had over 1,000 on April 7th. And you can get that data as a CSV export as well. One thing you might want to do is fine tune the data before you download it. So you set we're looking at last week. This is looking at all learners in the system. You can fine tune it by a group, a program you might have assigned, a course, a tag, a team, a learner. These are all different ways you can kind of massage this data before you download it. So I'm going to look at courses, and I'm going to look and see how many people completed bloodborne pathogens. Make sure you select the current school year, hit done, apply, and now for the last week, this is everybody who's completed bloodborne pathogens. So this is a nice way to kind of get the data you want in front of you before you bring it into Excel and work with it from there. If I go back to Insights, that's kind of how you get out of the report portal. You can see how compliant your organization is, the overall progress of your learners, complete, in progress, and not started, as a diagram there. You can see how many active users you've got in the system. This is a fun one, average procrastination. How long does it take from when you assign a course to it being completed? And then at the very bottom, the number of hours spent on learning. This is pretty impressive stats here. We've got over 3,000 hours of people in the system utilizing it. Most active day of the week is Tuesday. That changes every week, so I don't really know how important that is. But then you can see the device distribution. Looks like 88% of our users are on a desktop computer, 4% have accessed it on a tablet, and this is pretty high. Usually it's around 2 or 3%, but we've added 8% using this on their mobile device, which is great. All right, so those are the insights. All the data lives there. If you're not seeing the data you'd expect, I recommend always looking at this date range. By default, like I said, it's going to do the last 90 days, but you may want to get in there and refine that further before you start digging. Okay, let's look at one last area before we open it up to any questions you might have, which is the admin panel. Now, we've been in here to create groups, but I wanted to show you how you can look at your users in here as well. You'll have a link at the top that says users and permissions. You'll click that and you'll click manage users. Now, the only way to get users into or out of the system is to send us a spreadsheet, and we have to do it through the database because this learning management system sits alongside or has a single sign-on with the database. So you cannot access the database directly. So you see these export users, remove via CSV, add via CSV. These are not going to be useful for you. You're going to want to come through IPA anytime you want to add or remove a person. And we've got a spreadsheet built specifically for that. So let's search Scott, our video producer. The name will come up there for you to review. You click on the user, and it'll take you into their My Learning page, so you get to see what they see when they first log in. Here's all of Scott's required courses. Here's everything he's added on his own, and here's everything he completed. So that way, if you've got a person saying, hey, I completed something, it's not showing up, can you take a look for me? You can kind of log in and see what they see. So that can be helpful there. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you today on the tour. If you have any questions, we'll pause now and make sure we address all those for you. As I said, the last 25 minutes or so has been focused on this manager role that you will get assigned to you as the principal or superintendent. It's a default, or it's a generic account, I should say, and it's separate from your learner account. And the reason we do that is so it stays with the school or district. If you were to leave the position, we want that manager account to stay there and stay active for the school or district. So we'll pause now for any questions. We've got 10 minutes before our 11 o'clock wrap time. So I'd be happy to show you anything else within the system that you might need to see. Okay, April has a question. Is there a way to download a list of courses and descriptions? Oh, that's a great question. You know what I'll do? We've got a course catalog that's got a list of all the courses that are in the system, and it's got their descriptions and how many credit hours they're worth. So I'll show you what that looks like. I will send this out to everybody who registered for this webinar. And this is what the catalog looks like. It's a PDF file. We're trying to figure out a way we're going to put it on the website here this week. We just haven't gotten around to it. So this is fresh off the press, this ELN spring catalog. And what it shows you, first it shows you all the mandated trainings that we've got in the system. Most of the mandated trainings that are health related are not eligible for PD credit. That's guidance given to us from ISB. Some of them are those, so you can see this bias and microaggressions in the classroom. The implicit racial bias is worth 2 clock hours. But you can see on this right-hand column that most of our mandated trainings are not eligible for PD credit. But I will send this course catalog, a link to this recording, and anything else we can think of to everybody who registered. Okay, good question. Sherry asked, where do you get the spreadsheet to add and remove staff? Okay, from the homepage, if you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage and you click on Illinois Principals Association, this is specific for Illinois, but these spreadsheets will work for both. You can get this district spreadsheet, which is the initial roster, or you can get the add remove user spreadsheet if you've already got people in the system and you just want to change your roster. This add remove users button is here for you. Lisa asked, do we as a district have to assign the mandatory classes to our people, or does it automatically come from you if they have an account? No, we do not automatically assign anything to your users. If you want them to take a class on ELN, you will assign it to them with that manager role. That's a good question. I know there are some other competitors out there, like Global Compliance Network, Public School Works, that's kind of automatically set up what's needed. We don't do that. We let you kind of customize what you want your users to complete. You can use our programs in the system. Like I said, we've got, let me get back in here. We've got programs set up for ease of use for everything that's mandated and recommended. If you go to author and go to programs, you can assign the Illinois annual mandated training. That way it's kind of grouped for you, but we don't do it. We let you do it as a district leader. Can you enter a due date for all courses at once instead of individual? No, you cannot. The only way you can enter a due date is if you assign it to an individual person, and you have to assign the due date at that time. If you assign a course to a group, you cannot use the due date function. That's just a limitation of the learning management system. It's a good question. I wish I had a better answer. April asks, does a district have to do a new roster each year, or will the teachers continue to be in the system? Yes, your teachers will stay. What we recommend you send in is the add remove user spreadsheet, letting us know who's new that needs an account and who is no longer with your school or district. So that's kind of an annual process. We are, for Illinois users, we are partnering with ISB and their Ed 360 platform to have a single sign-on, and it would use the, not the Ellis account, but the other one, EIS. It would use EIS. So if you, once you updated EIS, then your ELN accounts would get updated as well. So look, check out ed360.isb.net, and if you're interested in getting your staff connected via the Ed 360 platform, we can take care of that for you. Here's a question from Tracy. If I find something in the course catalog that I want to complete, would it be in a drop-down course menu, or can I type that course into search? Good question. Would it be in a drop-down course menu? Oh, in the catalog, you would have to search. So you would, yes, you would go to the catalog here, find the course you're interested in. Let's say it's the anti-bias education course. We don't have any links in the catalog to get directly to that course, so you would have to return to ELN online, go to the learning library, and search for anti-bias. That's a good question. But yeah, the catalog is not actively linked to the courses. That's a good suggestion, though, for future version of the catalog. Okay, Rose asks, can we filter, search, and export a list of courses that give PD hours? Not in the system, no. The only way you're going to be able to determine if it's worth PD hours or not is if you look at, in the system, before you type anything into search, it's going to say, first things first, this course is worth 2 PD hours, this course is worth 2, 3, and if I scroll down to some of our state mandated training, you're going to see things like 0 hours. So you get to see how many hours it's worth before you even enroll, but there's no way to search and sort for what's worth PD hours in the system. Okay, so Lisa says, so we can link EIS to ELN. How do you set that up again? But EIS is only certified, and we enter all employees for ELN. Correct? Yes, we want you to enter certified and non-certified staff. You're right. That's a limitation of the EIS single sign-on. Is if you have non-certified staff, you would either need to get them into EIS or send us them on a separate spreadsheet. And I'll send a link to the Ed 360 information. Make myself a note for that. So you can see how to get signed up for Ed 360, and then all your superintendent has to do is click a checkbox that says to enroll them in ELN, and then you have a single sign-on between those two systems. But for non-certified staff, we'll have to do that the old-fashioned way by sending us a spreadsheet of users. Okay. Just making a couple notes here for things I'm going to send you guys after we're done. Terry asks, have you added any remote learning classes? That question, Terry, so we have added, not to the learning library. We haven't, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we were unable to get together and record new courses. We're still developing them in the hope that down the road we'll be able to bring the presenter into our studio. But if you go to edleadersnetwork.org, hover over courses, and go to live recordings, We've got a new live recording called Choosing and Using Online Tools to Enhance Instruction. And it's right at the top. It's the first one. It's an hour-long live webinar we did with Northwestern University. And then we did, like I said, we did yesterday a really great presentation with Dr. Bill Ziegler about strategies for leading during the COVID-19 crisis. So we've got some remote learning information. If you go to the IPA homepage, here, the first thing you'll see is a remote learning days and e-learning resources. So we've got a blog created on the IPA page that's got all these remote and e-learning resources and information. So that's a great question, Tara. I appreciate you bringing that up. We've got some more live events too that are coming up. On April 20th, we've got practices that increase rigor and engagement in distance learning environments. So Terry, you might want to check that one out. And then on April 21st, preparing students for college careers and civic responsibility in the 21st century. I think Kathy Rivera, the presenter there, is going to touch on e-learning as well, how to help students in that capacity. Okay, Marla asked, please remind me again, I attended Dr. Ziegler's live webinar. How do I receive my certificate? I will be sending out later this afternoon a link to the recording and a link to an evaluation that once you complete that evaluation, you'll get your certificate of completion. So good question, Marla. I don't think I've sent that out yet, but I've got it on my to-do list to send that out to people. So be expecting that later today. And Marla, if you don't receive what you expect to receive today, please email me. I'll put my email address in. It's arlen@ilprinciples.org. And you can email me if you don't get it by this close of business today. All right, well, it is 11 o'clock, so I want to be sure to honor our time together. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all of you joining in live. This was recorded, so I'll be sending you a recording link along with some Ed 360 info for Illinois users and links to get the spreadsheets to upload your staff. Thanks, everybody. I hope you're staying safe and staying home. I did this presentation from my basement studio. Sorry I didn't turn on my webcam to show you around, but thought that might be too distracting. But thank you for again logging in, and hope to see you again soon. Take care.